Greetings, everyone. It's Crime Talk with Crin, and we are back with episode 26. I know I've been gone for a minute. I am back. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. And we're just going to get right into it. Thank you for all my returning subscribers. To anyone who's just now coming across my channel, I am Crin. This is Crime Talk with Crin. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please just take a moment to do so. Hit the notification bell. I don't have a schedule yet for when I post. It's sporadic right now. So, if you can hit the notification bell so you'll get notified when I upload. It's 2025. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's my goal. Help me achieve my goal. And I said that once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I was going to switch things up. I was going to upload more. I was going to come on camera. You know, have a whole thing going on, right? Once you hit 1,000, it kind of feels real. So just please help me reach one of my goals to finally get to 1,000 subscribers. Definitely going to try to, put out some more consistent content for you guys. And I am feeling good. 2025 is being good to me. I am in New Jersey. We're having a snow day. It's lots of fun. I've been, listening to, some of the content creators, and like I said, I'm feeling good. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about the Idaho 4, of course. We're going to talk about Bryan Kohberger, and I'm not going to carry on too long, but I was listening to a video. It was Nancy Grace. She was talking to a guy, and he said that the defense was trying to muddy the waters, and that kind of didn't sit right with me, because I was like, the defense is trying to muddy the waters. Oh, you got some nerve. And I feel like, with some of the folks who are following this case and some of the folks that, get into true crime and all of that, if you don't follow the official narrative, if you don't follow what mainstream media has to say, they like to call you a conspiracy theorist and stuff like that. And to that, I always say I have been called worse by better people. I'm not worried about that. I can be a conspiracy theorist if that's what you want to call it. I don't care. I like to call it a critical thinker. I like to, look outside of the box. I like to think for myself. And so I love watching content creators who do the same thing, right? And so I just wanted to connect some dots here. And if you think it's a reach, so be it. But I just wanted to connect a few dots here, because when this guy said that the defense was trying to muddy the waters, it really irritated me, because personally, and this is my opinion, I believe that the state, by way of mainstream media, is intentionally trying to muddy the waters. I feel like over and over, we keep seeing things that are supposed to be big splashes, and they talk about it and talk about it and talk about it, and then they get the mainstream media to carry this for them, and then people hear it and they go on and on and on, and you can see in the comment section that there are people like hanging on to these lies, these inconsistencies that are being put out. Okay, what am I talking about? Let's talk about the DNA. Let's talk about the IgG. Excuse me. So, from the beginning, from Dawn Daniels, we heard from her supplemental disclosure that there was something shady, and I've done a previous video about it. There was something shady about the DNA and the IgG, and she was talking about, she thought that eventually this might be inadmissible. She thought that there was potentially a way, based off of whatever, that this could be considered exculpatory. She didn't think so, according to her. But if the judge were to see it as exculpatory or inadmissible, then to just look at everything else and forget that that was even included. That's what happened with Dawn Daniels from the beginning, from the search warrants, from the beginning. There was something shady about the DNA. When we start going to the hearings, and Ann Taylor kept asking over and over and over for the IgG information. Asking over and over, and the state was slow walking. Nah. Y'all don't need the IgG information because we're not even going to use it. Don't worry about that. We're going to file a motion in limine. 2 years later, where's the motion in limine? Never happened. But they keep standing behind the fact that they're not going to use the IgG. But when you turn on the news, when you go into comment sections, you hear over and over and over, oh, DNA, they have his DNA, they have his DNA, they have his DNA, they have his DNA. That's what everybody keeps talking about. The DNA on a button snap of the knife sheath. And that's what they used, the little touch trace DNA, and then they sent that to the lab, and then they had to send it to another lab, and then now they have the profile, they did the IgG. That's how they got to Bryan Kohberger, allegedly. But they're saying that they're not going to use that. So now they have everybody. Well, not everybody, because they don't have me. But the court of public opinion is like, his DNA was at the crime scene. He did it. But y'all are saying that y'all aren't going to use that. So how are you going to explain how you got to him? Fine. Okay, y'all aren't going to use it. Then the stalking narrative. They put that out. They got Steve Gonzalez, and this is just my opinion, they got Steve Gonzalez to carry that bone for them. When they said, oh, he's been by the house 12 times. He's been close enough to the house for his Wi-Fi to connect. Have we heard anything about that officially? All these motions and hearings, have we heard anything officially about Bryan Kohberger ever being connected to the Wi-Fi on King Road? Because I haven't. So now they say he's been by the house 12 times. Oh, he was stalking them. And then you have the prosecutor in court saying that it was a lie. And then he told the surveyor, you knew that was a lie. But the surveyor said, hey, all the information that I put in the survey was the information that was out in the media. But then the Bill Thompson, he tried to act like the surveyor was doing something janky by including the stalking piece. And the surveyor was like, nah, I knew it was fake. I knew it was a lie. I also know it was in the media. And we're trying to find out what the public knows. So if the public knows about the stalking angle, they could be biased. And that was the whole point of the survey. So how did Bill know that the stalking thing was fake? And how did he know that the surveyor knew that the stalking thing was fake? And if everybody knew that the stalking thing was fake, who said it to the media? Who said it? Because I can guarantee you, nobody from mainstream media is about to click on my video, hear something that I said, and then report it on the news. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So it's not like, oh, some rando rumor or speculation. They got that from somebody that was supposedly an official source. Steve Gonzalez did not hear that from some rando in a community. That was fed to them, in my opinion, that was fed to them from the officials. And they ran with it and they spread it. So there's still people who believe, oh, they have his DNA at the crime scene. He definitely had to do it. Oh, well, if he didn't do it, why was he stalking them? Even though in the hearing, they said out their own mouths, you know this is fake, right? You know that wasn't true, right? You know this was a lie, right? And they're still going with it. I believe that was done intentionally. And then you have this person of interest, and I'm trying not to cuss because my mama listens to this, but you had to think about Bryan Kohberger being named as a person of interest in a break-in in 2021 in Pullman. And there's people that keep reporting on this, and when I say it grinds my gears, when you read the comments, and I've watched videos where people have broken down the comments of what people are saying about this whole person of interest bull. And it's crazy, like the influence of the media grinds me to no end. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a communications major. I've taken courses on media influence on the American society, and it grinds me up so bad to see how easily people are swayed, influenced, convinced, persuaded. It's so crazy how people will take something and not ever think twice about it. They might not even think once about it, to be honest. But so you have 2021 Pullman. So a year before the atrocity on King Road. Shout out to Pav. So 2021, a year before the Idaho 4 massacre happened, you have someone who broke into a woman's home wearing a mask with a knife. The woman says she woke up out of her sleep, was like, oh no, intruder! Bow, kicks him in the stomach. This person, I should say him, this person gets kicked in the stomach, flies across the room into the closet. They're like, oh, she got me. Gets up, runs out the room. They didn't say, oh, she got me, because according to her, they did not speak. But also, according to her, this person was 5'3" to 5'5". That's me. I'm 5'4". So, this is a very short person. She says, probably female. Now, Bryan Kohberger was named as a person of interest after he was arrested for the Idaho student murders. So, when this happened, right, November 13th, 2022, when they said, oh man, they talked to Dylan. She was like, yeah, I had peeked out my door, and I saw a man walk by. He's probably 5'10" or taller, mask on, walking out. And I was scared, right? This is what Dylan said. So, but then they see that all of the victims were eliminated using a knife. So why didn't they say, oh, a knife, a mask, in the middle of the night, everybody sleeping? Maybe this is the person from Pullman, which is 2 seconds away. Maybe that's the same person. You want to know why they didn't think it was the same person? Because Bryan Kohberger is 6 foot plus. Dylan said the person was 5'10" or taller. The other woman said 5'3" to 5'5". And then if you think about it, she's in her bed. I don't know how tall her bed is. She could be the princess in the pea. I don't know. But if we're thinking about a standard bed, if she kicked in the stomach, that person can't be tall. That person can't be tall. Because I feel like if it was a tall man, and she's like, kicks him in the stomach while she's laying on the bed, she probably, kicked him in his sensitive area. But no, she said she kicked him in the stomach and they flew across the room. Don't you think the person who committed the Idaho student murders endured way more than a kick? When Steve Gonzalez says, there was one hell of a fight down there. When you factor in how big Ethan is, when you factor in the defense wounds that Xana had, come on. The state has been doing this from the beginning. They are putting out things that they know don't hold any water. They know it's a bunch of BS, but they also know that this is going to muddy the waters and sow seeds of guilt. So the court of public opinion already has this joker on death row. When you have Christy Gonzalez, one of the victim's mothers, like, I don't know what we waiting for. I want him to stop breathing. What? Not a shred of evidence. Not a stitch of evidence that says, yeah, he did it. The fact that the gear of the car changed after the PCA came out, the fact that when they were originally looking for the car, they said over and over and over occupants, because they thought that there was more than one person in that car. So I don't know if that was based on the camera or what, or I don't know if it was based on who said what, but they were looking for occupants. And then it turns into Brian Koberger. And that's what I said from the beginning. When Brian Koberger's name came out, everybody was like, who? Nobody knew him. Nobody knew him. And we got all these people, Party House, whole nine, Jackson, all of that. Emma Bailey's and Dylan Morton's. And we have so many names. And then it's like, Brian Cover, who? The state has been doing this the whole time. Putting out information that is nothing. But it has convinced members of the public that he's guilty. And I know that Pavarotti is, some people love him, some people hate him. I understand that. However, if we factor in what I just talked about, the BS DNA, the BS stalking narrative, this ridiculous person of interest who, yes, they came out later and said, oh no, he's been cleared. We don't think he's a person of interest. Y'all should have never looked at him. He wasn't even there. He was literally across the country. He had not even touched down to the West Coast yet. He is 6 foot or taller. And she said that the person was 5'3" to 5'2", and she kicked him in the stomach and they ran off. If the same person who committed the Idaho student murders is the same person that went into her room with a knife, if she kicked him in the stomach, they would have filleted her. It would have been over. It would have been over. They're not going to get kicked in the stomach and run when they were able to kill four people on two separate floors in under 10 minutes. A kick in the stomach to a ninja? Get out of here. It wasn't the same person. There was absolutely no possible way that it was the same person. However, in order to make people believe that it was him, oh yeah, because there was a crime last year that sounds just like this, except it doesn't. Nobody was killed. She said somebody broke in. She didn't say that she got killed. So what a person is, come on, for what? For what? Oh, that's right. So in a year, he grew a foot and turned into a ninja. Because the year before, he was just practicing and he got scared. But then, stop this. Stop. They knew that it wasn't him when they put that out there. And how did we find out? How did we find out about this 2001 break-in? Because they told the news. Garbage. There's absolutely no reason in 2024 that something from 2021 that had nothing to do with what happened in 2022 should have been leaked. Get out of here. Irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. And people are still running with it. It's garbage. And they did it on purpose. But what I was saying about Pavarotti, if his theory, just don't start rolling your eyes at the name. If his theory is correct about an unsavory confidential informant, isn't that on brand for this case? When they're putting out all this BS information, oh no, we're not going to use it, but you're going to let it marinate for 2 years without an official retraction. So I personally believe, now I'm not saying that Pavarotti's theory is correct. I don't know. It makes sense. And if he just pulled this out of his behind, he could probably make more money, writing movies than he does on YouTube. I don't know. However, the way that the state is carrying on, grasping at straws, trying to make anything stick, having somebody as unsavory as the person that Pavarotti thinks is the confidential informant makes sense. And that's why they're not trying to name him, because they know that this person is unreliable. But that's the kind of stuff that they're doing here. They came out in the very beginning and said that everybody was sleeping. They came out in the very beginning and said everybody in the house was asleep. They came out in the beginning and said that they were looking for a car this year to that year. At no point before the arrest and the extradition and the release of the PC, at no point did they say, oh, nah, we found something out, we changed our mind. They didn't do any of that. They kept it as if. And then the PCA comes out totally contradicting what they were telling us. Well, that's not the year that y'all said y'all were looking for. Well, if she opened her door 3 times, how was everybody sleeping? And then even still, people are saying, well, at least one person was asleep, referring to Maddie. And I disagree with that, because if Maddie was sleeping, who was Kaylee talking to when she said somebody is here? Who was she talking to? Who was she talking to? Anyway, that's just my opinion. I've said what I had to say. I'm going to be back. I have more things to say about other things. But what I wanted to say, what I want to close with, because I need some help here. If this is a call to action to all the guilters, if you believe without a shadow of a doubt that Bryan Kohberger is guilty, or if you're not sure, if you're still on the fence and you're like, oh, maybe he did it, maybe he didn't, drop down in the comment section and let me know why. I'm open to opposing opinions. I am open to different perspectives, and it can help me look at things in a different light. So please, if you think that Bryan Kohberger did it, or you're not sure if he did it or not, leave me a comment and let me know why. And please do not refer to the mystical, magical mountain of evidence that the state may or may not have. Because as we see in the hearings, they have absolutely nothing. But that's all I got.